It's like a shark, NATO, except with poop.
This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius. I had the best words. Tolerated. I know words. Mike Pounds. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. But there's no better word than stupid. Anonymous, really anonymous. I'm very highly educated. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. I had the best words. God bless the United States.
Around the nation, Waldorf Nation. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It's Friday, so hey, welcome to the show. We got a good show for you guys today. Should be interesting anyway. We're going to talk about what the hell is wrong with Mitch McConnell. And I don't mean like in all the other general ways we talk about, but dude looks like he's dying. I don't know what's going on. I kind of want to talk about it. It should be interesting. We also have Trump supporters doing dumb things and putting people in danger. Big shocker. We've also got a trailer park owner that is threatening its tenants. So that's really interesting. And yes, it has everything to do with the election. We've got the Boogaloo boys. We're going to talk a little bit about them. And then, of course, AOC goes after Donald Trump for talking about her during the debate. Interesting stuff. Fun stuff as well. Let's see. Wind kills birds. So, okay. Last night was the debate, and guess who didn't watch it? Me. I'm actually really glad that not only I did not watch the debate, because I was not going to learn anything. You don't really talk about policy all that much in these debates. But also, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It really, from what I've read about it, there wasn't any like breakout moments. Donald Trump didn't really do anything. Joe Biden was Joe Biden. I don't feel like I missed a whole lot. But that's just me. So I'm not really going to again go over much of the debate because I didn't watch it. And so, but again, there is one moment that I do want to show you that involves Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It is actually kind of important. And so, for one, it has to do with like respect for women, congresswomen specifically, the popularity of course, people like AOC, and of course, policy positions like the Green New Deal, which I think is actually really important. All right. Let's see. You're better off. Yeah. So I hear. So I hear. But, look, going back on that for just a minute, basically, this is the last, debate of this election season. Thank goodness we don't have any more of these. So there's actually only about three, sorry. I forget the Mike Pence, Kamala Harris debate, which again, not really a super big deal. It was all, Trump himself was described as being like super low energy. So like he had like,
please clap.
That kind of energy, Jeb Bush energy. All right. And of course,
Give me a break.
that's what, Jeb's like, give me a break. I'm not like Donald Trump at all. Donald Trump's not like me. No, I'm cool. I'm with it. I'm not like super incredibly racist. Oh, right. I forget. Donald Trump's the least racist person in the room. At least that's what he said. So, I don't know. Anyway, I quit watching political debates back in 2004. They're pretty useless. I think I might actually agree. Megyn Kelly thinks Donald Trump won. It's Megyn Kelly. I mean, really? Did you really expect anything different? I actually did hear that both candidates were nice to the moderator for once. All right. Hey, I guess we'll take that. Sure. Let's see. Yeah, some of you are talking about the fact that you didn't watch it, or if you did, there were some cringe moments in it. Yeah. Che Zeus says, I'm in favor of $15 minimum wage, but you shouldn't go too far with it. Reminded me if your 3% titanium tax doesn't go too far enough. No, minimum wage should be like $22 an hour, 22, 23. But I'm just saying. Like $15 an hour was like so 2016 at this point. But that's just me. T must have been in his downers during the debate. Or just not on his steroids. No roid raging. So, I don't know what happened. Anyway, before we get into the show proper, by the way, before we get like too far into it, please like and share the stream. If you enjoy the content, you just enjoy the conversation or the atmosphere, whatever, or the chat, please like and share so we can get more people in here and have more fun and do more fun things and have more good conversations because I enjoy that. And I'm sure you do too. All right. Let me check on our different things here. Twitch chat is going on. We got Facebook. Obviously, my friends on YouTube, which is great. Trump may have won the debate, but Biden won the war. Nobody, very few people are actually saying that Donald Trump won the debate, too. And of course, usually it's somebody who is in support of Donald Trump. Even so, there was an interesting video that was going around where you had people, conservatives, who wouldn't even raise their hand to signal that they believe that Donald Trump won. So, all right, fun times. Am I losing weight? A little bit. Not too much. Glad people notice. Trump supporters are hacking game servers now, says Dango Bangle. Really? I'm unfamiliar with this, what's going on here. So you'll have to send me more information on that, or I'll have to look it up. Could do that. All right. As you can tell, it's a little bit more casual because it's Friday, and nonetheless, we'll go in and get some stories here. Oh, wow, Miri. That's ridiculous. All right. Let's go to the first story. Again, we're just going to have some fun with at least first story here. And that is Trump supporters doing dumb things, as usual. Police in Wilmington, Massachusetts are looking for a Trump supporter. How do we know it's a Trump supporter? Well, let me get to that. Now, apparently this person is, he had hung a Trump 2020 sign up. Now, what's wrong with that, you might ask? Nothing in general, other than poor taste. But this one happened to have been hung from live electrical wires. Oops. So, in a tweet posted on Friday, Wilmington Police Department said it was looking to speak with an individual who decided to hang a sign across Main Street early this morning by tying it around live electrical wires. And so, in case you're wondering what that looks like, I will show you. So, let me bring up this. There it is. Trump 2020. Some nice handmade arts and crafts. And, of course, as you can see, it's a little bit of a heavy sign made from cardboard boxes. In fact, here's the back side of it. They got a lot of their boxes from Chewy.com. Not an endorsement. I don't have a deal with Chewy. But it's just, what it is. Unless it's like the Chewy granola bars. I'm not sure, really, to be honest with you. But there it is. Trump 2020 seems to be causing some issues here with it pulling down those electrical wires from it being so heavy. Again, not good. You can see it drooping, and that could be dangerous. Not good. Now, contrary to, of course, what I'm sure furious keyboard warriors that are, currently typing on 4chan, this is not a problem because it's a pro-Trump sign. Again, the only problem that I would have with it, if it's just a normal sign in a normal place, is like, oh, you got shit taste, bro. Like, ugh, cringe. But no, nobody cares that somebody might be dumb enough to support the biggest fail-son, turned politician in American history. Somebody who's so dumb and so terrible at business that he went bankrupt 6 times, probably going to go bankrupt a 7th time following this election. Let's be honest. This guy's got $420 million that are coming due. Not only that, but the guy's going broke. He's got all these different bills. He's stiffed contractors. He's stiffed entire cities. From back in 2016, he still has not paid off some of his bills. This guy is broke, and he is heading towards another bankruptcy. I can guarantee it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen after the election at some point. You can quote me on that. I will come back, and I will do a Told You segment on it. You know it. You know it. No. It's not anything about that. The problem here literally is this person, their stupidity putting other people in danger. You could hit that sign. Okay? Or I don't know. Let's go to the department, the police department, who commented on this by saying, not only do they run the risk of electrocution, putting up that sign, but also the low-hanging sign causes a hazard to passing motorists. I gotta ask, is a lawn sign not enough these days? I mean, okay, I get it. You love Trump. You're part of the cult, and part of the Trump cult apparently is announcing to the world how much you love Donald Trump. Nobody cares. Really, no one. No, I don't know. Maybe they think that liberals get triggered by this. The liberals are going to cry when they see this Trump sign. When in reality, we're just like, God, you're dumb. Or you're really fucking tacky. For example, okay, and I've got a couple of examples of this, of hardcore Trump supporters doing incredibly tacky things for no reason. In fact, look at this. Okay, that was from 2016. Why? Why would you? Why? Okay. No, and there's also this. I mean, wow. Seriously. Again, from 2016. And there's more. Obviously, there's tons of pictures of Trump, but you get it. People hanging like 40 Trump flags in their yard with signs everywhere. What? I don't quite get it. I don't understand, but okay, whatever. That tacky but harmless. This, not harmless. Okay, hanging in the middle of the road, not harmless. And so as a result, of course, and this is always fun, it got mocked online. In fact, one person wrote, "It's really a shame Darwin missed this opportunity." You can't fix stupid. There's more. Another one says, "Seems about right for the candidate." Of course. Basically, and it's obnoxious too. And that's the other thing. Imagine you're driving and you see that and you hit it with your car. That's obnoxious. You're like, what the hell, dude? Seriously? You're going to hang that sign right there? dumb, obnoxious, but again, completely on brand. Another person asks, anyone shocked? I love the puns. Another person says, to be fair, this is from Trump supporters now. You got a couple of Trump supporters that were like, that was dumb. One person says, not the best move. I like the sign, though. All right, fair enough. And then another person says, great sign, bad spot. Well, you know what? Agreed. I guess there's something that me and some Trump supporters can agree with, that this was dumb. Well, bad spot, I'll take it. All right. Here we go. Moving on here, let's go to something a little bit more serious. We're going to talk about a bad landlord. Let me just get the sidebar up here. A trailer park owner in Colorado is accused of threatening tenants if President Donald Trump does not win re-election. Now, what kind of threats? Well, for that, we go to local NBC News affiliate 9 News that is reporting that multiple residents of Ed Pagel's trailer park in Fort Morgan, Colorado, say that the owner, Bernie Pagel, had posted a notice warning their rents could double if Joe Biden wins the election, while adding that if Joe Biden does not win, if Donald Trump wins re-election, then he would promise not to raise rent for 2 years. Shocker. Shocker, right? So the notice, again, this is an official notice going out to everyone who lives in this trailer park. Quote, please understand, if Joe Biden is elected as our next president, everything you do and have to pay for will change completely. Everything will be increased, like paying a lot more in taxes, utilities, gasoline, groceries, new permits, fees, regulations, everything. This also means your rent will be increased to cover these expenses. Most likely, rent will double in price. Wow. If the current president is reelected, and this is all caps, by the way, we will not raise the rent for at least 2 years. I love how it's not even a guarantee to, like, not raise rent for the entire duration of President Trump's alleged second term. Like, they can't even promise that. Like, we'll give you 2 years. We'll promise that at least 2 years. But, you know, I mean, it could be longer, but, I mean, we can only promise 2 years. And then we're going to have to raise our rents. I mean, come on, dude. And look, let's be honest, there's never really a guarantee that landlords won't raise your rent arbitrarily anyway. I mean, they kind of have a habit of doing so. But yeah, look, what this is, it's clear. I mean, it's voter intimidation. You know it. This landlord is probably somebody who, I mean, it consumes a lot of pro-Trump propaganda, probably from right-wing news sites, OAN, Fox News, obviously, right-wing radio stations, all that stuff. And look, very likely that they're consuming that kind of news, but also the fact that they're a landlord and own a trailer park means that they might be concerned that their taxes are going to go up. Now, look, there is the possibility that someone could make enough under a Biden administration as a landlord to have to pay more in taxes. Okay, and actually, let's look at that. All right, let's give you some numbers here. Now, look, Biden's tax plan raises taxes on people making over $400,000 a year. Okay, so that's fact, right? That's what his tax plan calls for. I don't know if he'll actually get to do that with the Republican Congress, but that's the plan. Raise taxes on people making over $400,000 a year. Again, some property owners might actually fall into that and will actually have to pay more in marginal tax rates. So anything under $400,000 a year will be taxed at an additional higher rate. That's how marginal taxes work. I don't know how much this landlord owner makes. this trailer park owner, it is very possible that he could fall in the $200,000 to $300,000 a year range, to which he would not be impacted by additional taxes. At least when it comes to that. Maybe there's still state and local stuff. I don't necessarily know. Nonetheless, that rhetoric that you hear, you could almost hear like the campaign ads reflected in that, or the Fox News segments. Oh, Biden's going to raise your taxes, going to raise your taxes, going to raise your taxes, and then I've got to pass down that cost to you, so so that I can continue to make a profit. And so you're going to end up having to pay more rent. Your rent's going to double because I'm going to raise it. Okay. Again, very Republican Senate. It's true. All right. Pro-Trump propaganda. Got it. But here's the thing. This might be illegal. Why? Because voter intimidation itself is illegal. Federal law states that, quote, no person shall intimidate, threaten, coerce any other person for the purpose of interfering with the right of that person to vote or vote as he may choose. And so, look, this is an official notice by somebody's landlord saying, vote for this guy or I'm going to raise your rent. Definitely seems like a case of voter intimidation to me. I'm just saying. As such, this has been referred to the state's attorney general. However, so far, we don't know if there's any sort of plan in order to go after this or look into this or investigate or whatever. Don't know. Maybe something will come out soon. Who knows? But look, one resident, and a lot of the residents were just like, what is this? What the hell? In fact, one resident told 9 News, quote, everybody was pretty shocked. It was mainly hurtful. How could someone say something like that or basically threaten us according to something that we can't control? Meaning that, look, even if everybody in that trailer park decides they want to vote for Donald Trump anyway because they like him or whatever, and even if there wasn't this notice, right, still making a threat, at least an implied threat, or saying, I'm going to raise rents if my candidate doesn't win, that is definitely a terrible, ridiculous thing to do. And look, it's because the landlord doesn't give a damn about you. And let's be honest about that. Especially if you're a Trump supporter, generally you don't care about other people. That's from what I've seen. Okay? If you don't vote the way that I want, which will benefit me, obviously, then I'm going to take it out on you. And this is happening, by the way, at a time where, as a result of President Donald Trump and the Republican Congress and their inability to do anything about COVID-19, we have 30 to 40 million people that are either having a very difficult time paying rent or are unable to as a result of the coronavirus. And so, look, we haven't had a relief bill since March. And so this has been an absolute disaster, the response to the coronavirus. And, I mean, people are already facing evictions, homelessness during a pandemic, which is, again, it's already bad enough beforehand. It was bad enough before coronavirus. You definitely don't want to have homeless people, right? Now it's worse. And this person is threatening to make it worse on these families that, look, may be able to pay the rents now, but won't be able to pay it if this man arbitrarily doubles your rent because his candidate didn't win. I mean, it's just a disaster. A total dick move, clear intimidation. Something should be done about this. So now, that said, fear-mongering, ridiculousness, greed, and all that. And look, we see this from some landlords. We also see it from bosses, by the way. And I remember doing stories back in 2016. Oh, if Hillary Clinton wins, then we're going to lay people off. So if you don't vote the way that we want, then I'm going to either fire people or reduce your benefits somehow, or in the case of landlords, raise your rents, kick people out. That is just, that itself is not legal. Unfortunately, I think it is legal in the workplace, maybe. to, say stuff like that? I don't know. For me, it seems like voter intimidation across the board, and any cases of that definitely need to be investigated and punished, because you should not be using your position of authority and power in order to get the things that would benefit you. Because again, a lot of these owners and a lot of these business owners, CEOs, bosses, look, they are helped out by a Trump presidency. They are helped out by Republicans. And so who gets hurt, though? The workers. Of course they do. And it always seems to be people that benefit off the labor of the working class and the money of the working class that tend to threaten the working class when they face any sort of potential increase in their own costs, or the possibility that these workers or tenants would actually gain some sort of protection from a Democratic administration. And of course, it's that problem that, it's that for that reason that they do these kinds of just horrible things and say and make these kinds of threats, which are just absolutely ridiculous. So there's that. Moving on here, let's go to Mitch McConnell. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has seen some better days. In fact, there's a lot of people out there that are voicing some concerns after there's some pictures that came out featuring Mitch McConnell's hands looking all bruised up. In fact, let me just show you the picture here if you want to take a look. So that's the Associated Press. You got some bandages. You got some massive discoloring. Dude ain't looking good. Okay. Did he get into a fight with somebody? What happened? What happened? Well, some people asked, and he didn't really have any answers for them. In fact, when asked by reporters if there were any health problems that Mitch McConnell might have that maybe we should be a little concerned about, here's what he said. He said, "Of course not." Or, "Oh, of course not." Okay, all right. Now, he also did not respond when asked if he was being treated by a doctor. An aide to McConnell also declined to provide any additional details when asked multiple times about his health. Now, look, that's important because, look, the guy looks like he's falling apart. He's not looking good. And understand that Mitch McConnell's like ancient. He's like 78 years old, okay, and is alive during a pandemic. And also, again, those pictures, not good. Not good. In fact, I do have another one, I believe, of Mitch McConnell. Yeah. So there's that. There's the discoloration in his hands. Okay. And so, again, not looking good. And then also, I don't know if you noticed this as well, but let me show you the picture of that. Let's see. It looks like he's bruised in his face, like he got punched in the face or something, or like fell. So, I don't know. I think there's something maybe that was going on here that he refuses to talk about. I'm not saying that he's dying or anything like that. No, it doesn't even have to be major. He could have fell, for all we know, because sometimes older gentlemen, tend to fall. In fact, he got treated for a fall last year. And so, but again, being super cagey about it, I don't know. You can't help people, or you can't blame people for having to wonder, if the guy's okay. Now, me personally, I don't really care about his health. But, he's a sitting congressperson too. And so he does wield power. His, him being there is actually kind of important, okay, to the functioning of the government, since he is the majority leader. If he does have a significant health issue that could impact his job, well then, you think that would be something that would be important to mention, or something that we would deserve to know? I don't know. again, Mitch McConnell, he's also, as I mentioned, in the middle of coronavirus, right? Now, he's an older person. He's got some, a medical history, okay? And you see him in these hearings. Now, he's wearing a mask, but he's in these hearings with Republicans like Mike Lee, who have had coronavirus and are not wearing masks and could, be potentially contaminating other people. And so that could be another problem. I'm not saying Mitch McConnell's got coronavirus, and I'm not saying Mitch McConnell hasn't been careful. He actually has been careful. He's one of the few Republicans to actually be in favor of wearing masks and social distancing. Why? It's because he's pretty aware of his own mortality. And so, I don't know. Mitch McConnell, not a stupid person, as I've said before. Evil, yes. Stupid, not exactly. But he is surrounded by idiots and people who flout social distancing and all that stuff. So, again, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to ask questions, all right? Especially since now, in the absence of any answers, there's a lot of speculation going on. So, here are the things that I've heard. These are rumors, okay? Maybe he's taking blood thinners. Now, that would suggest, if you're taking blood thinners, the possibility of another health issue that we don't know of. Okay. What about, I've also seen bruises, the bruises were caused by, like, IVs in his hand. And again, it brings more questions, right, if that's true. Possible skin condition, maybe. Could be his demonic essence literally rotting away his body. I don't know. There could be the start of the zombie apocalypse as a result of COVID mixing with his evil DNA. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. This is what happens when you don't answer simple questions like, hey, are you okay? All you need to know is just be like, hey, what's with the bruises? Oh, I fell the other day. Kind of embarrassing, but I'm a bit of an older guy, so sometimes you just fall. Okay. Who knows? Who knows? Now, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else I can add to that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break. We'll come back. I'll read some super chats, read some comments, all that fun stuff. And then we're going to get to AOC versus Donald Trump. That's interesting. And the Boogaloo Boys. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So stay right here. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So leave your comments, super chats, all that wonderful stuff. I'll check in on my friends at Twitch as well. And we'll do all that. So stay right here. Around the Nation.
Burmisia. Burmisia. They say, pronounce it Burmisia. A real beautiful company.
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight.
I will eat your ass.
That never is not funny. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's one of those days. All right. So I want to thank some patrons. I haven't done that in a while. So let me go here and also explain something cool that you can do now as a patron if you've signed up. So I want to thank Jeffrey Chang for becoming an annual member. So now that's obviously, I mean, what you can do is you can sign up for a whole year of membership ahead of time. And so instead of getting charged monthly, it's just like 1 year membership. And then, of course, you get access to the, downloadable podcast for the show, which is pretty cool. And so you get that ad and break free. So, hey, that's awesome. That's one way that you can definitely support independent progressive media by signing up for that. Another way, of course, is to become a channel member on YouTube. I want to thank a couple of those, Christine Rowe and Lot Anderson. Thank you for becoming a member, joining us and supporting independent progressive media. Let's go over to Twitch here. A lot of stuff on Twitch. I want to thank John's Venn Diagram of Desire for becoming a subscriber on Twitch. Hey, you're awesome. Thank you. Over here, Twitch, Trashy Plays. What's up? Perhaps the curse that turned this evil turtle into a man is wearing off. That's awesome. Let's see. Great comments. Let's see. Blood thinners for blood clots holds up. True. Demonic essence, though. I mean, everybody loves the demonic essence comment. Hey, I'll go with that one. That's my guess. That's my speculation. All right. Anyway, there's a couple of other pieces of speculation as well. Dango Bango says the TikTok witches got to Mitch. Which Mitch? And then Sarchik says Fox News says that Trump won the debate, but say Biden won the war. Yeah, look, Fox News is always going to say Donald Trump won the debate. Almost always, I guess. I should say the first debate, they were a little bit more like, ooh, that wasn't so great. That was pretty terrible, actually. But, okay. But still kind of won the debate on the substance or something like that, which, of course, there was no substance in the first debate or the second debate because there was no second debate. So, but in the third debate, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. All right, anyway. I don't know. But thank you for signing up, by the way, to be a member, Jeanette Villolona. So I appreciate that. Okay. Mitch's hands are also quite swollen. Let me look at that again, by the way. So, that's McConnell's face. Let's go back to, nope. Yeah, see, that one's like really bad. That discoloration. Like, that is concerning. Like, is he molting or something? I don't know what's going on here. It's not good, though. It doesn't look good. But again, you know what he's doing, too, by the way. As this is going on, as people are questioning his health, he is currently trying to still push through Amy Coney Barrett. Like, he's going to push her through even if it kills him. And that's amazing dedication right there. For sure. For sure. All right. Mitch is transforming into a fly. I don't know. Horcrux. Chat, you're awesome. All right. Anyway, let's go talk a bit about AOC and the Green New Deal. Nope. Okay. Here we go. During the last presidential debate of the 2020 election season, and I think we're all thankful for that. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was name-checked by the President of the United States in talking about climate policy. In fact, I've got a video here showing one of those moments. Let's take a look.
If you look at his plan, his environmental plan, you know who developed it? AOC +3. They know nothing about the climate. I mean, she's got a good line of stuff, but she knows nothing about the climate. And they're all hopping through hoops for AOC +3. Look, their real plan costs $100 trillion.
All right, so you could see Joe Biden kind of laughing at that. It was like, there's a reason that he's laughing at that. For one, Donald Trump is a clown. And for two, let's be fair, Joe Biden wants nothing to do with the Green New Deal. In fact, he's out there continuously saying things like, or tweeting things like, we're not banning fracking. Fossil fuels are going to be here for a very long time. You know, the Green New Deal is actually incredibly popular, right? No, he's still saying, no, oil companies, gas companies, don't worry, you're going to be here for a very long time. Joe Biden guarantee. Oh, it's so frustrating to be a leftist and to have to still defend Joe freaking Biden. But okay, anyway. So let's get back to AOC, right? So apparently she knows nothing about the climate. According to Donald, knows nothing about the climate. I know everything about the climate. I know everything about wind. No, you don't. No, it's very obvious. And look, here's the thing. Even if it were true that Donald Trump knows a lot about the climate, where AOC does not, understand that AOC is a congresswoman, right? A public servant. And so it doesn't really matter how much she personally knows about the issue. What matters is that she does the right thing legislatively. That's going to do the most good for her constituents. And of course, the Green New Deal is a massive, massive undertaking, which would create millions of good-paying, sustainable jobs and also be great for the environment. Well, that would help out not just her constituents, but it would help her constituents out quite a bit, but also would help a lot of people. It would be a great thing to do, the Green New Deal. And not only that, but the Green New Deal is backed up by scientific consensus. So you got to rule when it comes to facts. You've got to legislate based on factual information. And so it doesn't matter how much AOC may or may not know about the climate. And she knows a lot more than Donald Trump, obviously. What matters would be, again, legislating by scientific consensus on the issues. Scientific consensus is climate change is real and it's a big problem, and we need bold plans to deal with it. And that's the way that I would want my, legislators to come at an issue armed with the facts. That's just me. Okay. Obviously, Republicans don't like the facts. They're not interested in that and want to continue to push oil, coal, natural gas. And of course, to be fair, the Democrats also want to push at least natural gas. And so, for the foreseeable future. Okay. So that said, how do we do that? Green New Deal. Most ambitious plan out there. Biden, as I mentioned before, does not support the Green New Deal. Biden's proposal does include moving all electric power off fossil fuels by 2035, increasing energy efficiency by upgrading 4 million buildings. That's part of the Green New Deal, right? Part of the Green New Deal is upgrading a lot of our infrastructure to be much more energy efficient. And so that's good. That's fine. Installing more solar panels. In this case, the Biden administration would want to install 500 million solar panels. All right, in the next 5 years. And shift major cities towards zero-emission public transportation. Again, the stuff that Biden wants to do is not like super bold or controversial. It's basically your small, a little bit of change, common sense kind of stuff, right? And I'm not saying that the Green New Deal is not common sense. Don't misunderstand me on that. The Green New Deal makes much more sense than doing things at a more, and I can't even think of that word right now, incremental approach. I think we need to be bold. I think we need to go and just, do the Green New Deal because it is going to create millions of great new, green new jobs in these industries, while phasing out some of the worst industries and offenders when it comes to the climate. So, anyway, there's that. Now, that said, during this debate, AOC took to Twitter to correct the president. Here's what she tweeted. And I love her Twitter takedowns, by the way, because they're always fantastic. Here she says, it's actually AOC plus 115, not just 3, because that's how many House and Senate members have co-sponsored the most ambitious climate legislation in American history. Yes, and that's because they actually realized that we need this to protect civilization, human civilization. Here's what she also said. If someone told me 3 years ago, while I was waitressing to help my family stay afloat, that in a few short years an unhinged president of the United States would be repeatedly saying my name at a 2020 debate, I would have brought them some water and told them to sober up. It is kind of amazing. And look, it's not just AOC, by the way. Donald Trump always brings up Bernie Sanders as well. Bernie Sanders, we know he was legitimately afraid of running against Bernie. He did not want to go against Bernie Sanders because he was scared that he was going to lose. Bernie Sanders would have destroyed him in 2016, also would destroy him now. That said, Joe Biden, he's probably, he's I can't say that he's a guaranteed win because you never know what's going to happen, even with 2 weeks left, before the election. But it's looking pretty likely to have a Biden victory by a pretty wide margin. And the reason, of course, I believe that that's the case, Joe Biden's a weak candidate, but he's got a lot of advantages on his side. 4 years of Donald Trump and his constant chaos, screwing things up for the country. Coronavirus. I think coronavirus should get, MVP of the year. Because without coronavirus, that's a lot of why people are abandoning Donald Trump is because of his disastrous, and the Republican Party as well, their disastrous response to the COVID-19 crisis. And so MVP, coronavirus, without that, I think Joe Biden would have a little bit more of a difficult path to becoming the next president of the United States. And so lucky for Biden, everything just happens to work out in his favor. But if things had been had gone differently, I think Bernie Sanders still would have been a much better contender because of the fact that he has specific policy proposals, not afraid of being called a socialist, which they were going to call him anyway because they're calling Joe Biden a socialist. And so he would have at least been like, no, yeah, I kind of am. I'm a democratic socialist. Here's what that means. Instead of being Joe Biden and running away from it. I'm just saying. All right. That said, I love this tweet because, again, she's right. Who would have thought that this one person would make such a splash in Congress, and not only in Congress, but also in pop culture? Again, she's somebody who has been able to draw over 400,000 live viewers on Twitch to have her watch, to watch her play video games, essentially. That's amazing. That's huge. She has got the, third most watched live stream on the entire platform. Not only that, but she pushes these good ideas, these popular ideas, pushes them into the mainstream. She helps to shape the discussion. She did not remain quiet as a freshman congresswoman. And so, all of that's why she's such a big name. And of course, there's a dark side to all that, and we know that, and I'm sure you're all aware of what that entails, what that means. She's been harassed, threatened, attacked online, but also, as she pointed out, constantly disrespected by her peers, by other politicians, mainly on the Republican side, but also, of course, definitely on the Democratic side as well, like Nancy Pelosi. Here's what she said, though, about the Republicans. I wonder if Republicans understand how much they advertise their disrespect of women in debates when they consistently call women members of Congress by nicknames or first names, while using titles and last names when referring to men of equal stature. Women notice it conveys a lot. No, she's right about that. And she is right about that. There is that lack of respect. She continued by saying, AOC is a name given to me by my community and the people. Y'all can call me AOC. Government colleagues referring to each other in a public or professional context who don't know me like that should refer to their peers as Congresswoman, Representative, etc. Basic respect 101. And look, I get it, right? And you can see the president, he doesn't respect anybody. No, not at all. We know this. Again, Sleepy Joe, Crazy Bernie, all that stuff, the nicknames, the ridiculousness. We know. He's a jerk. But there are other Republicans also that are incredibly disrespectful. But here's the thing, right? I think that AOC has earned a certain amount of respect. Why? She worked her way up into power by representing the powerless, regular working people. That's why they like her, because she advocates for them, because she is one of them, and that's why she is beloved. And so I just want to make sure that other politicians take notice of that. Respect is not given, but it is earned, and she has earned a lot of respect. And if other politicians want that kind of respect, then maybe you should start representing the people instead of just your corporate donors. That's all I have to say about that. All right. One more story for you guys. Let's talk about the Boogaloo Boys a little bit. Those shirts are ridiculous. I'm just saying. Like, okay, it's not just the shirts. It's like the body armor. The whole look. It's crazy. Like, why would you do such things? Why would you do and wear such things? But okay, anyway. Let's get into it. A right-wing extremist who is the leader of the Boogaloo movement in Texas has been charged with a crime. That crime, of course, is firing an assault weapon at a police station. Now, wait a minute. I said Boogaloo. You must be like, didn't you mean Antifa? No, Boogaloo. Right-wing extremists. Notice how it's not Antifa that's doing these things. All right, anyway. So now, federal prosecutors discharged Ivan Harrison Hunter of Bourne, Texas, on riot charges for allegedly firing 13 rounds from an AK-47 into the 3rd Precinct building on May 28th. Again, that was during the George Floyd protests. Federal agents reviewing video of the precinct shooting identified Hunter firing a rifle into the building, where prosecutors say that looters were inside. An investigator said a cooperating defendant had identified the shooter as Hunter. Agents also noted that Hunter had been in contact with fellow Boogaloo extremist Stephen Carrillo, an active duty Air Force sergeant who was also charged with killing 2 law enforcement officers in California on May 29th and June 6th, according to an affidavit. So apparently they had been not only coordinating, not only working together, but also financially supporting each other. In fact, Hunter contacted Carrillo through social media on May 29th, about 4 hours after the killing of a Federal Protective Service security officer, and about 2 hours after the 3rd Precinct building had been burned. Hunter asked him for money on June 1st and was sent $200 through a Cash App. So, yeah. Now, investigators said that Hunter had also drove to Minneapolis, which again was one of the major sites of George Floyd protests, in May to participate in what they called a riot. And they said on social media posts, describe his activities there and identifies himself as the leader of the Boogaloo Boys in South Texas. So, all right. These people are dangerous. So let me just point that out. I think you get it, but they are dangerous. And what they want is they're right-wing extremists that want a civil war. They want to they want to start a civil war. And they want to do so based on race. And so they'll go into protests, for example, George Floyd protests, and try to incite rioting. So this is what I point to when I say that, hey, a lot of the violence is not started by the protesters to begin with. There are right-wing infiltrators, there are provocateurs that go in and they do this, they try to incite, and they do so with violence. And then, again, you look at what 92% of the protests for racial justice have been entirely peaceful, and the ones that have not, usually you have provocateurs like the Boogaloos or police that also tend to start these things. And so that's what happens, okay? And again, they have shot and killed police as well. They are a domestic terrorist group. In fact, Hunter, as a passenger in a pickup stopped on June 3rd by police in Austin, Texas, after leaving a protest, officers found 6 loaded magazines for that AK-47 on a tactical vest that he was wearing, as well as 3 semi-automatic rifles and 2 loaded pistols in the vehicle. You do not carry around that type of weaponry unless you plan on using it. And he did. He shot 13 times into a police building. Now, that said, did you hear anything about this during the debate last night? Are you hearing anything about this from right-wing media, from Fox News? Are you seeing this on Donald Trump's Twitter, him denouncing it? No, you don't. No, there's none of that. Instead, all you see is Trump and the right wing talking about Antifa. And I hear this all the time from Trump supporters, from conservatives. How about, how they're talking about how Black Lives Matter, they claim is a domestic terrorist organization. Really? So let me be very clear. Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist organization. Boogaloo Boys definitely are, because they go around terrorizing people and shooting police officers. Whereas the worst Black Lives Matter has done was one chant at one specific protest that said something about frying them in bacon. Or frying them like bacon. I mean, there's actual, literal police officers that have been shot and killed by these right-wing extremists versus like a chant that made some people uncomfortable. Come on. So, all right. And that's it. Black Lives Matter, obviously protesting for civil rights, protesting to make sure that black people are not shot and killed by police. Definitely a peaceful movement. And it's a good thing. We want police to not shoot people who are unarmed. Now, if you disrupt those protests, by the way, with violence or try to incite war, well, that's a problem. And that's what the Boogaloo Boys do. And that's what a lot of the extremist right-wing organizations, unfortunately, do. They're not pro-police. They're not pro-government. And ironically, instead of course, siding with protesters who are anti-ICE, who want to abolish ICE, for example, or defund the police, i.e. shrink government, they're against those. Why? It's because the driving force behind these right-wing movements, these extremist movements, happens to be racism as well, virulent racism. When and again, when is the president going to denounce these groups? He's not. When are the Republicans going to disavow these groups? They're not. They're not going to disavow the Proud Boys. I mean, Donald Trump did after days of pressure, and then for saying, "Oh, I don't know who the Proud Boys are." You told them to stand down and stand by. Come on, you know who they are. But he's not. Look, And it is funny, by the way, pointing this out, how they all call themselves the boys. Like, oh, Boogaloo boys, Proud Boys, we're all just boys here. Oh, okay, all right. I guess no women allowed. Or nobody wants to be a part of that. Maybe worse, these people are a bunch of incels that got radicalized by conservative propaganda. If so, I just do kind of feel bad for them a little bit. Like, definitely not Chads or anything like that. So, but look, regardless of how they got there, we've got to do something about them before they hurt people. And look, they already actually have hurt people. The FBI has warned that the Trump administration, as well as the Obama administration, that these domestic terror groups are threats to national security. Maybe, look, we're not going to see any sort of, action against them under a Trump administration, obviously. But maybe, and I'm hoping, and the reason, of course, that it's only a hope is because we didn't see any action under the Obama administration, but maybe we'll see something under the Biden administration that, takes them seriously or more seriously than we did. I don't know. But regardless, these people are here, and they do intend to cause harm, and they have caused harm, and are perfectly capable of doing so. They're well armed. And we need to have a government that is willing to stand up to these ultra right-wing groups and protect the American people, protect protesters, protect the First Amendment, their First Amendment rights to protest without, having these people come in and cause harm. All right. Torn Torcaroa on Super Chat asks if I can put articles that I use for the stories in the description of clip videos. I actually do. Whenever there is an article, I do put it in that. You might have to look below the fold, though. All right. This kid says on YouTube chat, domestic terrorists should be treated as the same threats as Middle Eastern terrorists. I agree. They should. And unfortunately, they're not. Let's see. More here. Oh, thank you, John's Venn diagram of desire. That's awesome. For giving out 5 tier 1 subs. Holy crap. That is awesome. Thank you, John's Venn diagram of desire. Much, much love, Twitch here. That's awesome. Appreciate that. That's amazing stuff. All right. Let's see. Let's go to Facebook here before we end the show. Looks like that's not showing up. All right. That's unfortunate. Some things are not quite working, but other than that, thank you to everybody who has sent super chats, as well as, of course, subs, giving out subs on Twitch. You're awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Hopefully you all have a great weekend. We'll be back here on Monday for another show. Please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, wear the masks, and all that wonderful stuff. So we'll see you all back here on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. By the way, I believe I will be trying to do some video game streams this weekend as well. So on both Twitch and YouTube. So check those out if you can. All right, everybody. Love you. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, nation. You have a good weekend.
Why? You're getting nervous, man.
Silence.
Please clap. Give me a break.
Tolerate. I like my meat tight.
There's some whores in this house.
They're kicking me out the door.
You're kicking me out the door.